Welcome back to this week's edition of the Geschmack of our podcast. This week's Parshas Vayakel. Here we are, 94 Havens Avenue, in the basement. Me, my beautiful baby, Baruch Hashem. Daddy is on babysitting duty, and therefore we will be recording live with baby Bracha Brook. And if you hear a loud scream in the background, that is yours truly. We learn in this week's Parsha, perhaps the number one thing that is holding us back from reaching our potential. We will jump right into it. Zok the Ramban HaKadosh. He quotes a pasuk ala Torah, Vayakel ish asher nasa liboy. We are building the Mishkan finally. We have collected the necessary funds, and now it is time to erect the Mishkan. Who's going to build the Mishkan? Is it going to be Reb Chaim Kanievsky? Is it going to be Rabbi Rechnitz? Is it going to be the person who knows how to build the Mishkan the best way? The number one Jewish craftsman? Who's going to build the Mishkan, and God willing, this Beis HaMikdash HaShlishi? Zok the Torah. Vayavo kol ish. Who came? Asher no'asa liboy. Kol nediv liboy. All of the people who built it, the people who are the entrepreneurs, the determined, unyielding, tenacious, and determined volunteers. Zok the Ramban HaKadosh. What does it mean? Nasa liboy. There's bracha. Zok the Ramban. The Jews did not know how to build the Mishkan. A person had to be very proficient or adept at small, meticulous, jewel-setting, sewing types of malachos. And we weren't exactly skilled in this way. So who volunteered? People that, asher matza b'tivai, they found it in their nature, sheyeda lasos kein, to get it done. They raised their hand and said, Moshe, I'll come and build the Mishkan, even though I don't know how. Give it to me and I'm going to get it done. Matza b'tivo. They found it in their nature, sheyeda lasos kein, that they know how to do it. That is according to the Ramban, and here comes the rest. Vayigba libo. And they raised their hearts. Bidvar Hashem. Lavoi lifnei Moshe leimar loi. They told Moshe, Ani eseh kol asher adoini doiver. I am going to do all that God asks, even though I don't know how. I was thinking it's very apropos or very nogea for us in today's generation. You can literally learn how to do surgery, open heart surgery, from YouTube. You can pretty much buy a book that this, fill in the blank, for dummies. A person lacks the determination to get to the place that he wants to, Rabbi Yerucham tells us. The holy mashgiach, Rabbi Yerucham, explains that when you look at all the adirei ha'olam, every wealthy Fortune 500 CEO, he got there because of this midah: determination, tenacity, and undernumming. He's an undertaker. If I need to borrow $50 million and drive Uber to pay it back, if I need to go ahead and do it myself, I'm going to do it. Esha Torah, I saw that Reb Noach Weinberg, Zecher Tzaddik V'Kadosh Livracha, actually failed twice at setting up his yeshiva. It only had 5 students at one time and then closed. But now look at the holy Esha Torah. An unyielding commitment to get to the job, to get the job done. To digress on the idea, or to expound upon the idea, we find that when it comes to business, sports, or insert whatever it is that's important to you, we become very determined and we start to create different ways, different avenues for Parnasa. First, we start in this area for Parnasa. We find our little schnit that works. We find our niche. We wake up early if we have an opportunity to make money. We're always coming up with new avenues to create a larger cash flow. But in something that's even more real than physicality and Parnasa, our Ruchnius world, we kind of let it, we kind of let it come to us, so to speak. We're kind of okay with a a basic, I hope, one day I hope I'll finish some Gemara. I hope I'll perfect that Midah one day. We're not as determined. There's a Mesorah and an idea developed by the Alter of Kelm, but I will say that it actually goes back as far as Shlomo HaMelech, King Solomon himself. Zogt King Solomon in Proverbs. Im ka kesef tach besena, v'chat benoyim tach besena, oz tov and yiras Hashem. If you'll search after yiras Hashem like money, im ka kesef. If, like chat benoyim, like treasure, tach besena. If you search after Yiddishkeit, after Ruchnius, like a businessman, like Jeff Bezos, oz tov and yiras Hashem. Rabbi Yerucham tells us, we need to create, I'm obviously paraphrasing, our Ruchnius into an LLC. I am Michael Brook, trying to build a business. Well, not exactly right now, but eventually. And I'm also Michael Brook, building my Ruchnius and my family's Ruchnius together with my Mishpacha. And that Ruchnius is Brook Mishpacha's Ruchnius LLC. It needs to be built in a real way. There's 3 different points that I want to say that show us what exactly this vart means. The Gra tells us that every single second that we learn Torah is another mitzvah. Another mitzvah that is connected all the other mitzvahs. Every single second, every single Rashi, every single halacha, every single word of Torah that you listen to on your headphones, another mitzvah. If we understand Dvarim Pshutim, that it's business, every single second that I'm learning Torah is another blue, crisp, $100 bill, like in the business world, how much more so will it spur us on? The Vart doesn't sound exactly like it's Lishma at the beginning, to be learning or studying just for the sake of, the reward. But we know that Mitaych Shelo Lishma Ba Lishma. If we have the proper understanding that every single second, every single mitzvah is nacha mitzvah, nachaschar, then how much more so will it inspire us? View the mitzvahs mamash like money. Number 2, we always find new ways to succeed in our business. New avenues. We pick up new endeavors, new side hustles. When it comes to Yiddishkeit, we know that the Yetzer Hara wakes up every day. He tries to destroy a person with new avenues to trip him up. Well before we come to our Gemara, well before we wake up in the morning, the Yetzer Hara has been up the whole night setting up his traps. We also need to come up with new avenues, new plans every single day. We have to be cunning in our fear. Always trying to, maybe I can go through this avenue, maybe I can start this company, maybe I can cut costs here. Always be smart in your fear. Number 3, there's another idea that a person has to have a Kabbalas Ol Malchus Shamayim. A person needs to accept the yoke of HaKadosh Baruch Hu. And I studied with my father this past week, the Rabbeinu Yonah's commentary. Rabbeinu Yonah tells us that what does it mean to have a yoke? It means that just like when the animal puts on the yoke, it starts to plow whether it wants to or not. The same thing applies here. Torah, Ruchnius, if we view as a job, like we're saying, it's our LLC. It's our company. My Ruchnius is a business. It's an oisik. As we say the bracha, Baruch Atah Hashem Elokeinu melech haolam, la'asoik b'divrei Torah, to be oisik in Torah, an undertaking, a tenacity towards getting to the top, becoming the CEO of a Fortune 500 company. This is a Mayridik and Maila in our Yiras Hashem. This actually is the Ramban. These people, when it came to their business, when it came to the holiest of all businesses, building the Mishkan, these people did not know how to build the Mishkan. They didn't have this, Dakistic, minute, artisan craftsmanship. They didn't have the ability. But matzah b'tivai, what's holding us back from what it is that we want to get to the top of the mountain? What's holding us back? Is it that we don't have that skill? I'm not cut from the right cloth. I'm not from the right stock to be able to get to the top? Or do we know that that's not true? And it's the solid, rock-solid commitment and tenacity to be able to say, I'm going to get to the top, and don't get in my way or I'll have to push you to the side. It's funny that we become very, very opinionated, perhaps even trash talk about certain ideas and certain goals that we have. But maybe in our ruchnius, we become very, very okay when someone maybe gets in the way of something that we want, in the way of one of our chavrusas, in the way of a davening. We all of a sudden lose that tenacity. If we view Torah and our ruchnius as a business, as an LLC, as an oisik, as a im kakesef tach besena, then im yirtz Hashem, oz tovin yiras Hashem, and we will be zeicha to be these kol didiv liboy, a moiridik Shabbos.